Hello and welcome to Small Game Adventures. I am Myrtle, and this is a disclaimer again. I am recording the audio post-production. I forgot to hit record on my mic when I was recording it on the computer. And again, because I am currently overseas with my little MacBook Air, I can't re-record the episode, unfortunately. So I do die a couple of times here, guys. But it's chapter 9, so maybe you'll die a little bit too. So... With that out of the way, this is Chapter 9, Episode 10 of Magicka 2, All Unlocks Bananas Run Through. I hope you enjoy it. Now, Chapter 9 starts off pretty calmly, actually. This entire first scene is there's not really anything to fight. What I do recommend is spraying ice all over the ocean there. You can walk out on it. I don't think there's really any technical unlocks out there, but I could be blatantly wrong. Do kill those sharks just because it's funny and it's enjoyable to see them explode. But again, just click on everything that you can, and I've said this a couple of times, but some of the unlocks I'm sure are just because you click on things. And it's hard for me to work out which ones those are because I've already got them all, and like when you first play through, like the first time you play through, you're going to get a whole bunch of them anyway just from completing a level, and it's hard to tell which ones do which. I don't know of anywhere where it actually solidly tells you what you get all the achievements for. So play through. If you've gone through bananas and you clicked on everything and you still can't work it out, then let me know and I'll try and help you out as well and see if we can find something. Now once we enter the castle, our first achievement, which isn't our first achievement but you need to start it now, is to extinguish all of the torches. Now extinguishing the torches, there's one I think I may have missed just below me there on the inside of the wall. Once you extinguish all the torches, you will get the achievement called Heart Hoarder, which we'll get later. For this courtyard battle, I might recommend extinguishing the torches afterwards. Also for this battle, there is an achievement to complete the battle without using any spells or magics and just using your melee weapon, which is ridiculously hard if you're going to try and do it in Bananas difficulty, especially if you're solo. The way that I did it with a friend was that we basically made ourselves invincible using perks. Most of the achievements that are like, defeat this or get through this area doing this, allow you to use custom perks to do it. So use those custom perks, make yourself invincible, make all your enemies take stupid amounts of damage, and it's going to be really easy to get those achievements. You'll notice here I'm dying a number of times. Even if I'd re-recorded, I think I probably would have left these kind of deaths in because there's not much you can do about them. You can try teleporting away from those projectiles or sitting inside these little jail cells, but the fact is that you tend to get tossed a little bit. From getting bashed or explosions, if there are a lot of explosions in here, and they will inadvertently chuck you into those holes, which there's not really any way you can avoid it. In Magicka 1 you could teleport mid-air, and there was actually an achievement for teleporting mid-air and avoiding a fall. In Magicka 2 it doesn't actually let you cast teleport when you're already in the air, so there's not really any way of avoiding it that I know of. What I'm doing here is I'm using my little undead minions. It's the magic raise the undead or summon undead. I'm using them to basically distract some of the enemies and to just absorb some damage, and just kind of kiting around the edge of this map here. Something that I'm gonna do, I've just done just then, and I'm gonna do a number of times throughout this battle. There's maybe 3 or 4 more deaths where I do it, which is it's suicide. I'm literally just killing myself by running off. The reason, and it looks really stupid, like it looks really stupid when I do it. But the reason that it's happening is because the railings on the outside, you see these railings on the outside of the holes, they don't cover the corners. So if you run along the railing, you will actually kill yourself by just falling down off it. So I did that a number of times, and it's really awkward. The way to kill these, so the first 2 stages of this fight, not too difficult, to be honest. They're just standard enemies. They're things that you fought before. You saw me chuck out some of those big AoE rock fire combinations. You've seen me use some beams and some AoE electricity fire. That kind of jazz. It's pretty standard fighting. These ones, I killed the first electricity minotaur with just a big rock projectile, which again we've done before in previous levels. That second guy, he will charge you and such. It's kind of, if you kite him just in front of him, he won't use any abilities, he won't jump or charge you. So I recommend just kiting just in front of him and basically just hitting him with AoEs and some beams. This final guy does take a little bit more damage to kill. My combination that I'm using here is, first of all, a Nova, then a Thunderstorm and some beams to finish him off. The combination of the Nova and the Thunderstorm are really nasty, and I highly recommend getting used to casting those. The way we finish this this scene is to use the disrupt magic, which you should have received at the end, I believe. Oh my gosh, I fell off. At the end of the last chapter, you would have received the disrupt magic, which is kind of fun to muck around with, especially in like multiplayer. Not that there's really multiplayer, but like if you're fighting friends, use the disrupt magic when they cast beams at you, and it's really funny because you can steal their element. But I keep falling off the corners of these holes. It's such a rookie mistake, but I do it. I still do it. It's just ridiculous how many times I do it. Anyway, you just disrupt. You can disrupt all of the beams if you want to. You don't need to, again. But do remember to put out all of the torches. So, yeah, if you want to do that with if you manage to do that in especially in single player, but if you manage to do that in bananas, even with some mates, just using the melee weapons, I would love to see it because I'm going to be really impressed if you can do that. I've missed one torch there on the left-hand side of that entrance, and I miss a couple right at the end as well. But do make sure that you do that. They all need to be extinguished, so you can't extinguish them and light them on fire again. I don't believe you do need to extinguish them all. There is another weapon unlocked in that cell there, I believe, on the top right-hand corner, which I don't get in this walkthrough, and I'm not entirely sure what the weapon is. So again, if you know what that is, please let me know. I've unlocked it at some point, and I can't remember what it is, and I obviously didn't do it in this recording, unfortunately. So I apologize for that. But something you see me doing here, and probably will see me doing a lot more as this chapter goes on, is using these hallways really well. So there's lots of really long hallways in the castle here, and you have some really powerful beams that go for infinite range, so you need to use them. Because you can just sprint down the hallway and then just beam up it. And something else you'll see me doing a lot of is dual beaming. So the prism magic is something that I use often, especially in single player. It's the only way to cast a Nova, which is the crossing beam. But commonly, and especially in chapter 9 that you'll see me using a lot here, is to cross the beams and not negatively. So you cross them negatively and they'll spawn Nova, or if you cross them positively, you can just do a whole bunch of damage. The only torch in this level that is already unlit is the one that you need to light. It's in this corridor. Light it up and then put it out again, because it still needs to be out for that achievement. You'll be able to find this Scythe in here, which is medium physical damage and low cold damage. Again, by this point, you should already have a high physical damage weapon, which I highly recommend using, because if you're going to hit something, you really just want to do physical damage to it. Maybe you want knockback, but yeah, if you're relying on your melee weapon, you're playing the game wrong, to be honest. What was I saying? Oh yeah, and click on everything in that office. Again, this is the dual beaming that I'm talking about. There's a whole bunch of damage. There are spellcasters in there that you didn't even see the spellcaster because I killed him so quickly with those dual beams. So that's really effective. The Nova itself doesn't kill there's a number of enemies now that are strong enough that they don't get insta-killed by a Nova. So the dual beaming does actually do a lot more damage. It's more of a single target hit, so it's not going to kill everything, but it's really effective. There is a game development is hard achievement here. Walk into the door and stay there until you get the second message, I believe. Second message needs to pop up before you get that partial achievement unlock. Game development is hard. And keep on extinguishing your torches, of course. What was I saying? Dual beaming, yeah. So the dual beaming, the Nova is amazing, does lots of damage in an AoE, kills lots of small guys. But look at this, I'm kiting this mage, I'm just chucking down lots of beams. I could dual beam there, but kiting it down hallways and then using beams on them is really, really effective. Using dual beams is even more effective. When you chuck down the prism with a beam on it, the beam will go in a straight line, but you can control which direction that beam is pointing by shooting another beam at it. And if you watch carefully, you'll see me do that, because it will take the average of the two angles and point the beam in that direction when there's two beams crossing like that in a positive sense. There's a weapon unlocked down here, the little frying pan. You do low physical damage and a little bit of knockback. Knockback's useful, but the low physical damage means that the bacon frying pan is probably not the best weapon you should be using at this point. When I'm saying best weapon, guys, I'm talking about like if you're trying to go for damage and killing things. Yeah. Obviously, I never use the best weapons. I use the weapons that make me look cool. So I'm using like the bouquet of flowers and the chemistry staff because it looks cool. And I just like the look of it. That's why I play Magicka. It's fun. It looks funny. So yeah, if you're, again, I've said it before, if you're struggling and you're trying to rely on your weapons, you're doing it wrong, honestly. Like, you can beat this game with the practice weapons. You can do it. You can beat Chapter 9, I've done it. It's not terribly, like, it makes it hard, it makes it more challenging, but you can still do it. Like, I'm doing this solo with the Headmaster's weapon. You know, it's perfectly viable to do it with any weapon set. So if you're relying on your staff and weapons, then you're doing it slightly wrong. Having said that, it does make your life a whole lot easier, especially the Helvati staff. A lot of people use it, and a lot of people use it for a reason. It's really effective. I am rambling a little bit. So you should have got, at the end there, I missed a couple of torches that you may have noticed. If you get those torches, you will get the Heart Hoarder achievement, which is to extinguish all the torches. Extinguish all the torches in Chapter 9. I don't believe there's any more that you need to get. I think that's the end of it. From here, again, we're basically just running up and down this hallway. I'm trying to protect ourselves against the nasty ice balls of doom that come up. And don't forget, when you're using these beams and the double beams, anything, there's the ice ball of doom. Any beams, don't kill something right in front of you because of that AoE. So I'm keeping them just outside of the AoE range when I kill them. If you are not confident with how far that AoE extends, then just don't do it. Like, just use an AoE spell to kill them rather than the beam. Because it's really embarrassing to be sitting there shooting them with a beam and then accidentally kill yourself because you didn't realize how far the AoE it would extend. Never a fun day. But that's alright. Lots of hallways here, lots of similar types of battles. We fought most of these enemies before. The steam, poison, electricity beam's nasty. This one we want to chuck down a double beam as soon as we possibly can. These spellcasters are really weak. You'll see her drop instantly like that. The second one I don't kill and I die. They do stupid amounts of damage. We call them a glass cannon. They do lots of damage and they take lots of damage. So if you can kill them really fast, theoretically, if you can chuck down a double beam and get the positioning right, you can literally win this fight in seconds. I didn't in this run through. I apologize for that. And you can see I'm going to die a number of times. Every time I die, I'm going to cast that revive, so I get my little thing back, put on a shield, and then start doing some damage. Now, what you want to be doing is teleporting. Now, you can see them casting. You can see them summon up the elements there and then teleport. So what I'm not doing here, what I will do finally at the end, to kind of win the battle, I believe, is manually teleporting as soon as she's about to cast. Now, like that. Oh, there we go, I did it. So you need to teleport away from the attack. All of their attacks are either hitting you with the little AoE bombs, I guess, or the attack actually summons around you and does AoE damage around you. So if you stay still, you actually won't take much damage. Normally you want to be running around in circles, so staying still is not the most viable option. But if you teleport as they cast, you won't actually get hit by it. It's a little bit more difficult when there's two of them. That little eye that you saw there, those enemies are strange. They don't actually technically do damage to you. They do dispel, and they will randomly teleport you at times. So if you feel yourself jumping around for no reason, that's why. It can be very frustrating, but just ignore them, honestly. If the opportunity presents itself, then kill them, but you don't need to worry about it too much. Again, I'm charging up a big rock projectile to try and kill that sorceress outright, because we really don't like those sorceresses. Any kind of cutscene like that, where you can try and take out an enemy before they aggro on you, it's definitely worth trying it. Because killing an enemy when they're not trying to kill you is a much better way of doing it. Assassin class here. Again, just kiting backward with those beams, they're really, really powerful. Never underestimate them. Pure Arcane, I find, works really, really well for these guys. There are other ways of killing them, but I think Pure Arcane Beam is one of my favorites. Again, there's a couple of electricity towers here. As I've said before, double rock projectile, charge up, it's going to insta-kill them. They're not a problem if you're ready for them. Keep in mind it is wet there, so don't use electricity without a water shield. You see I put on a rock water shield there when I was trying to fight them. So I'm just using, again, steam, poison, electricity beam there. With some thunderstorm just to clear up, and some AoE to finish them off. A lot of these tactics, a lot of these like double beaming thunder cloud tactics are things that I picked up from a run through I did and will post later. If you remember, I don't know if you do remember, I said right at the start that I would try and do a run through at the final boss talk to this guy and then kill him. I would try and do a run through of the final boss of Magicka 2 with just the practice weapons. Now, having done that, I realized that it's not very much of a challenge because you really just need to kill the golem once and then just stop block from reviving him. So that wasn't too hard. So I said, okay, I'll try and do a full final chapter 9 run through with just the practice weapons. And I did that. It was hard, but it wasn't ridiculously hard. Like, it's possible. You don't tend to use your weapons that much, and the staff lowers the damage of your spells, but you know, the ones that are important are still lethal. So then I put all these crazy perks on to make the game almost impossible, and then tried it like that and died stupid amount of times. But I will upload that, and I hope you enjoy that because I had lots of fun recording it. But a lot of these spells that I'm using now are ones that are combinations that I've picked up from that run through, because you need to be doing stupid amounts of damage really fast, and you'll see why when I post it. So you saw beforehand, you will have seen I used, don't forget this weapon here, high physical damage. I believe this is one that is non-unlockable, so you can pick it up in the game, but you can't actually equip it at the start of the level, unfortunately. Go with the Headmaster Sword again. But yeah, so using the Hinterland Breeze in combination with Thunderstorm will freeze an enemy, and then hitting with a rock projectile does a whole bunch of damage. It's pretty cool. It's a nice tactic, does stupid amounts of damage. Again, it's kind of more of a single target hit, but that's alright. We've got another one of those shard spawners here. You don't see them that often, but again, whenever there is one, kill it first. There's honestly no point in killing any other enemies around you until you've killed that, because it will just keep on spawning those shards, which are a pain. So focus everything on that shard spawner first. Just a couple of rock projectiles will do it, and then you can go about the battle. Again, kiting down the hallways. Chapter 9 is set up really well for fighting enemies, which is kind of unfortunate. Like, it would have been nice if they had some... They've got a couple of little courtyard scenes where you got to run around a room in circles, but most of these other battles, you can literally just run up and down. Like, I can run all the way back to the start of this section, kiting someone if I want to, through all the rain, through all the corridors, everything. You know, I can do that dropping thunderstorms the entire way, and that's perfectly viable. Again, it says keep out, run through here. This is another game development, and I believe the last game development is hard achievement. You can click on this to say hello to it. That doesn't give you the achievement, I believe. Looking at this, running through here does a lot of damage. I don't think there's any way of avoiding that damage, but that should get you the game development is hard achievement, which, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the last one. So you run through there, teleport through. I believe you can't run through, but teleport through, and you'll get that achievement. It is a pretty easy achievement, and you shouldn't have too many troubles with it. Now, couple of enemies through here. This is it's a puzzle. If you can't work out how to do the puzzle, you might need to reassess your life. It's a pretty easy puzzle. That's a bit mean to me, wasn't it? Again, those little eye things, they're actually really fun to play with because they don't actually attack you as such. They just screw with you while other people attack you, which is surprisingly effective. The ultimate support enemy. You can see I'm trying to kill him here because he's annoying me, but you really need to focus on the other enemies before taking these guys out. A couple of rock projectiles will do it. They actually absorb a lot of arcane and other damage, so rock projectile seems to be the best way, the physical damage. Oh, more electricity beams. It's still a ridiculous attack, but lots of fun. And yeah, again, this puzzle, like, if you can't work that out, then, I mean, really. Frost arcane. Fire life. Life, fire, life. There we go. Yeah. Life, frost, life. Wow. Turns out I'm a retard. This battle here, again, is one of the ones that you want to prepare first. It's the Ellen fight. Ellen is very difficult to kill. There is an achievement for killing her without killing any of her minions. And surprisingly, or not, killing her without killing any of her minions is actually the most effective way of doing this battle. So chuck on a water shield, then chuck down some dual beams. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. She's really easy to kill. Again, trying to teleport out of that AoE. Alrighty guys, Ellen fight. I did die, which I apologize for, but I'm not going to subject you to that. You need to be chucking down the double beams right from the beginning here. Chuck on a water shield, and then chuck down those two beams. And you can pretty much kill her instantly, like that. That will finish the fight. There is an achievement for that. It's a really easy fight if you get her straight away, and a really, really difficult one if you don't. So chuck down the single beam if there's a group of you, or just charge up that steam electricity beam, hit her with it, and you'll be right for days. Explore these tables. I don't remember there being any unlocks, but I could be blatantly wrong. Yeah, so I apologize. I did cut a bit out of that video there because I screwed up, which is entirely my bad. Because I missed with my first beam and she killed me. Yeah, so if you hit her straight away, you're going to be set. The final battle, guys. This is locked. This is the final battle. If you haven't already beaten her, then you probably need to go play it in normal first. But use a double rock projectile here to take out Mr. Golem. You do want to kite him up to relatively close to, ideally, relatively close to this entrance before killing him. So use your first rock projectile, get him down pretty low, let him come all the way up here before you take him out fully. It's going to make getting the elements into the hole much easier. So I screw up there because I am a giant blood and I wasn't standing in the beam properly. But again, if you've done this before, you know you've got to use disrupt to cancel that beam out. But if you're going to screw up like that, then the first one is definitely the way to do it. 2 big rock projectiles will do it if you fully charge them. Again, wait for him to come all the way up before you finish him off like that. Excuse me. Stand right in the middle of the beam. The closer you are to her, the easier it is going to be for you to catch that ball and work out where the beam's going to be. As soon as you're here, there's 2 ways of pushing it. You can use the push magic, or you can use just a water spray. Oh, I mean, you can use like mines and such like that as well if you would like. Timing your shields is really important. The damage she chucks out will probably kill you because the disrupt cancels your shield. But at the same time, you still want to have the disrupt up when she goes for it. So don't worry too much about the balls. If she's standing in the wrong place here, I need to make her not stand there anymore. I need her to run somewhere else, which is fine. And until she does, it's going to be really hard for me to get the ball through that hole there because she's kind of standing in the way. But it doesn't matter. Like, you've got all the time in the world. As long as you're standing in front of her with disrupt ready to go, she's never going to get that. So she's run up to the side there. This makes it much easier for me to get the ball through the hole. Again, you've got all the time in the world. You really don't want to let her get the beam off. I got really lucky / unlucky there. My disrupt ran out just as that ball hit me. But again, she still had to run to get it, so I'm still fine. We still good. Standing right in front of her, grabbing this ball. She's in a good position there. We don't really want her to run around. Don't forget that casting push is a really quick spell to cast. And, you know, I'm an idiot, so I missed there. Fight your battles. I decided that I wasn't going to run anywhere near that attack that she put out. And then apparently missed blatantly. Notice that you can actually, and this is a tactic that's been used before, you can disrupt the beam after it activates the golem. Not ideal, but you can still, like, it still saves you some time. Again, this second golem, rock projectiles work pretty well again. As a general rule, either just a big rock projectile or a straight arcane beam tends to kill them pretty fast. Again, I don't want to fully kill him until he's back up closer to the gap in the wall. I'm having a hard time of it, apparently. Hard time of catching those beams properly. So this is a terrible example. There is the the challenge of beating lock the final boss in like a certain amount of seconds. It's like 1 minute or something you've got to complete the fight, which is always a bit fun. I derped out there. The way that you do that is literally just catching every beam and chucking it through, like not having to fight all the golems. And this is why I said the practice weapons and stuff were not so much of a challenge, because once you've killed that first golem, theoretically, if you don't do this, because I'm an idiot, if you don't do this, then you are not going to have any troubles with beating the boss at all. Standing right in front of her face is the most effective way of doing it, of catching the beam. Sometimes it's not the best because she's in a bad position, but it's easier to catch there. So I've seen like teams of people making a line in front of the golem to try and stop her getting the beam through. You're better off having one person stand right in front of it and the other people sit there with water blasts and push ready to go to chuck the ball out. When you're doing a single player, obviously you have to wait for the disrupt to wear off before you can cast anything, literally anything. but it's still certainly possible to do. That was very, very close. Most of Locke's attacks are going to kill you in one hit, but again, the Disrupt makes you invincible, so use that well. She's in a really bad position here again, so I'm going to knock it away from her and then try and turn around and blast through. Probably use a water spray here, I believe, to finish off, just because I'm getting really frustrated with the fight. That's alright, there we go. We've got Chapter 9, guys. That's all the achievements. I believe. I don't think I've missed anything. If I have, again, let me know, and I'll post notes in the description if I have missed anything. I hope you've enjoyed this series. I certainly have. It's been interesting. I apologize for taking so long to get these last 2 videos up, but they are finally here. I have missed a number of things, but hey, that's the nature of the game, I guess. I will put up a special requested video soon of me completing this with some crazy perks. And until then, this has been Small Game Adventures. I am Mootle, signing off from our Magicka 2 run through. I hope you've enjoyed it, and stay tuned for coming episodes.